Sometimes, not so long ago, when Rigathi Gachagua realised that his marriage with his boss, President William Ruto, wasn't exactly blossoming, he took matters into his own hands. Rigathi went directly to the president with a rather bold request. "Give me my share, and I'll leave." But the twist, he wasn't asking for just any amount. He came up with a figure, 8 billion shillings. How? Well, he multiplied every vote Ruto received in Mat Kenya by 4,000 shillings. It sounds like something straight out of a dramatic film, doesn't it? But this wasn't fiction. Gachagua banged the table in frustration when the president refused and stormed out of the meeting. And this isn't even the first time Gachagua has gone to the president demanding billions. Remember when the Mount Kenya region started becoming slippery for William Ruto? Especially when the people of Mount Kenya realised that Ruto wasn't quite delivering on the promises he made during the campaign. Rigathi saw that as his chance and rushed back to the president, asking for 4 billion shillings to nikurudishie mulima, or in other words, let me go win back Mat Kenya for you. But here's the real question. Do you think Rigathi Gachagua is solely entitled to the Mat Kenya vote? Is that even something one person can lay claim to? Well, according to the first charge, it seems he does. The first charge that Gachagua is accused of is 1. Threatening the head of state, accused of banging the desk in anger at a meeting with the president in which he was denied 8 billion Kenya shillings. Gachagua allegedly arrived at the amount after multiplying each vote for Ruto in Mat Kenya with 4,000 Kenya shillings. Now, let's break this down, shall we? Imagine the deputy president calculating every vote in Mat Kenya is like a cashier totalling receipts. Apparently, in a fit of frustration, Rigathi Gachagua decided that for every vote cast for Ruto in Mat Kenya, he deserves a payout of 4,000 shillings. And when his boss, President William Ruto, wasn't having it, what did Gachagua do? He banged the table in anger and stormed out. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a pretty creative way of doing business. Combining politics with mathematics and not the good kind. Gachagua seemed ready to cash in his Mat Kenya stock like it's a bank account. But Ruto apparently thought the math didn't add up. Ladies and gentlemen and my fellow Kenyans, let's pause and remember one important fact. Before Rigathi Gachagua was nominated as the running mate of then Deputy President William Ruto, he was simply the Member of Parliament for Mathira constituency. Nothing more, nothing less. He had influence, yes, but only in Mathira, if not limited to just his local area. Yet, the people of Mount Kenya had already made up their minds long before he came into the picture. They had declared their support for William Ruto. So, how can Gachagua now turn around and claim credit for the Mat Kenya votes? If that's the case, then people like Ndindi Nyoro, who was far more popular across the entire Mat Kenya region, should also demand their share of the credit. And what about the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, or even Anne Waiguru, who was commanding an entire county, Kirinyaga? Should they too come forward and ask for their share of the Mat Kenya votes? But here's something even bigger to think about. If we go down this route, should other regions start demanding their share as well? Who really owns the votes? And where does this sense of entitlement come from? It's up to you, my esteemed viewers, to decide. You shouldn't end up saying, Lifelens TV is being biased. And with that, let's move on to charge number 2. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is accused of allegedly acquiring 5.7 billion Kenya shillings in 2 years, yet he earns 12 million Kenya shillings each year. Okay, corruption, eh? A timeless classic in Kenyan politics, isn't it? Gachagua is accused of pocketing a staggering 5.7 billion shillings in just 2 years. Now keep in mind the man's salary is about 12 million shillings a year, so you do the math on this one. That's quite the discrepancy. If true, this could be a serious blow to his public image, which raises the question, where exactly did this money come from? One has to wonder if Gachagua might have discovered a very lucrative side hustle, or something else entirely. Now, on to the third charge, and it reads, abuse of office. accused of allegedly diverting material allocated to the construction of the Malindi-Kilifi highway to the construction of a private road in Kilifi, leading to a hotel linked to him. Now, this is no small accusation. It's one thing to divert public funds, but to take materials meant for a public road and use them for your own private project. That's bold. Some might even say reckless. And it brings up a much bigger issue. If this is happening with a road, what else might be going on behind closed doors? It's like borrowing your neighbour's car and then selling it off to buy yourself a new house. And the fourth charge? Well, this one is particularly interesting. Gachagua is accused of sponsoring violent Gen Z protests. Now, we all know how heated these protests have been, but to have a senior government official accused of fueling them, that's a serious allegation. Whether true or not, this charge taps into the growing tension between the youth and the government. If Gachagua is found guilty of this, it suggests he's actively encouraging instability, something no leader should be going. And it doesn't stop there. The fifth charge is leaking state secrets. Now, this is where things get really interesting. If Gachagua has indeed been spilling confidential information, it's not just his political career at stake. National security is on the line. Leaking sensitive information is a grave matter, especially for someone as high-ranking as the deputy president. It begs the question, why would he do this, and what did he hope to gain? Now, let's move to charge number 6. This time, it's all about threatening and intimidating MPs and other state officers. This speaks to the heart of Gachagua's leadership style. If the allegations are true, it paints a picture of a man who rules through fear and coercion rather than cooperation. And in politics, that's a dangerous path. Intimidation only works for so long before people start pushing back. Is this the kind of leadership Kenya needs at such a critical time? And now we move on to charge number 7 is promoting tribalism. This one cuts deep. Kenya's ethnic diversity is both a strength and a challenge. For a leader to promote division along tribal lines is deeply concerning. It's like fanning the flames of an already tense situation. If Gachagua is found guilty of this, it could seriously harm his reputation, not just among his political peers, but among ordinary Kenyans as well. Tribalism has been the root of much unrest in Kenya's history, and any leader who plays this card is playing with fire. Finally, charge number 8. Opposing cabinet decisions. Gachagua's refusal to toe the line with cabinet decisions may seem minor compared to the other charges, but it reveals something crucial, a breakdown in government unity. If he's consistently opposing his own cabinet, how can the government function smoothly? It shows a disconnect between the deputy president and the rest of the leadership, which could have wider consequences for policymaking and governance. In summary, these 8 charges paint a complicated picture of Gachagua's leadership. From banging tables and demanding billions, to allegedly siphoning public resources and fueling violent protests, these accusations are serious and, if proven, could mean the end of his political career. But remember, this is all just the beginning. The truth behind these charges will unfold in time, but one thing is for sure: Kenya is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 8 charges laid out against the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. From claiming ownership of Mount Kenya votes to accusations of corruption, abuse of office, and even promoting tribalism, it's clear that the political landscape is shifting. But as always, the question remains, is there more to this story than meets the eye? Only time will tell how these allegations will play out. But one thing is certain: Kenyan politics is never short of drama. So, as we continue to watch these developments, I encourage you to stay informed, stay critical, and most importantly, stay engaged. Thank you for joining me today. This is Jennifer on the mic, signing off. Until next time, stay tuned for more deep dives into the political currents shaping our nation.